Take a deep breath, 49ers faithful. Today brings backstage buzz, a medical twist, a tactical adjustment, and a little provocation in the air. There's movement around a physical AFC defender who lost ground and might get new life in the Bay. On offense, a star status turned into a riddle just hours before kickoff, opening the door to a change of pace in practice. A recent arrival could reveal the backfield workload plan, and up in the Northwest, the rivalry might have a new antagonist for our corner. Ready? You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. Behind the scenes, the chatter heated up again. The 49ers are closely monitoring Kyle Duggar's situation in New England, ready to act if the window opens just right. Why? The safety lost ground in the preseason, slid down the depth chart, and according to reports, landed on the trade rumor radar, the kind of opportunity the Bay Area front office loves to pounce on when the market gets jittery and a player becomes undervalued. The context is specific and intriguing. Duggar signed a 4-year extension in 2024, but his competitive value dipped recently. Mike Vrabel's staff adjusted the defensive hierarchy, and the veterans started to look more like a situational piece. Meanwhile, the safety room shifted dramatically at the last minute, creating space for younger names to take the spotlight. If the phone rings, nobody in Foxborough is pretending they didn't hear it. The fit in Santa Clara makes sense both tactically and financially. The base has Jair Brown and Jason Pinnock as pillars, while the rotation still seeks stability with pieces like Saran Neal and the development of rookies, with Malik Mustafa coming off an injury and opening the year on PUP. Keen, a physical safety who can play in the box and as a robber in the intermediate zones, would give Steve Wilks and that aggressive front the perfect lever for big nickel looks and disguises that scramble veteran quarterback's reads. On the field, the translation is direct. On early downs, Duggar closes angles against the run, handles tight ends in the flat, and frees Brown to patrol deeper. In sub-packages, he reads the quarterback's eyes and jumps crossers, shrinking the windows that have so often punished the defense on third down. And when protection softens, that delayed B-gap blitz becomes a hot knife. The front draws attention, and the safety arrives to finish the play. The cap table doesn't scare you. The acquiring team essentially takes on his 2025 base salary, with manageable per-game bonuses. The signing bonus proration stays with New England. For a contender, paying in that range for a playoff-caliber starter, rotational piece is a rational bet, especially if the staff believes the down year was more about context than decline. And remember, flexibility today prevents desperation tomorrow. Price? The market sees the moment and charges accordingly. A day 3 pick, 5th or 6th round with conditions tied to snaps and production is the most plausible package. It's a safe structure with clear upside and protection if the adaptation doesn't hit. And let's be honest, San Francisco knows how to work this kind of trade value, slotting a player into roles that maximize immediate impact without overloading responsibilities. So, the rumor thermometer looks like this: a real need and an open runway in the 49ers scheme, a pragmatic environment in New England, and a contract that fits without forcing drastic maneuvers. If the opening appears, the franchise has the ammunition, the plan, and the competitive urgency. And that's not even the most surprising part of the day. On Friday, tensions spiked in the locker room. Christian McCaffrey, listed as limited on Thursday, simply didn't practice on Friday, and his status immediately became a question mark for the opener against Seattle. The official word is questionable, but what squeezes fans' hearts is the fresh memory of 2024, a year in which 93 managed to play only 4 games, suffocated by injuries that wrecked the start of the season. Every absence feels like a replay no one in San Francisco wants to watch again. McCaffrey himself tried to calm things down, telling reporters he feels great and that this is all just caution. He even said that because of his injury history, any missed practice gets blown out of proportion. But the truth is, fans can't take their eyes off the inactive list, and every update fuels theories, worries, and online debates. After all, when the engine of the offense isn't at 100%, the game plan feels it right away. Shanahan knows this dilemma well: risk the star or hold him back for steadiness later. Striking the balance between prudence and aggression defines not only week 1, but the rhythm of the entire season. The staff has already shown it doesn't want to repeat past mistakes when the rush to bring CMC back led to worse setbacks. This time, the choice seems clear. If there's any doubt, protect the player. And as always, the fan base is split. Some believe McCaffrey is ready and the team needs him from the first snap to set the tone. Others argue it's better not to risk him against Seattle, even if it costs some offensive rhythm, because the season is long and the decisive battles are ahead. That tension feeds the anticipation and keeps everyone glued to the screen until the final official confirmation. As the clock ticks, the narrative grows. Will we see McCaffrey suited up Sunday, or will he show up in a cap and jacket on the sideline, nursing the same anxiety as the fans? And if he plays, will he truly be at full speed or limited to strategic snaps? Those answers only come on game day, and the simple fact that we don't know yet is exactly what makes this drama so addictive. A deja vu haunts the fan base. Exactly a year ago, McCaffrey was already dealing with the same calf that now creates concern. Back then, the story turned into Achilles tendonitis, brutally limiting his impact and pushing Jordan Mason into a temporary leading role. Today, it feels like the same movie might be about to roll again, but there's one fundamental difference changing the script. Brian Robinson Jr. The front office didn't want to relive 2024 and sought depth early in the offseason. Robinson arrived from Washington with a clear RB2 label and is already assimilated into Shanahan's system. He isn't McCaffrey, but he's a workhorse who can handle volume without killing efficiency. His near 800 rushing yards in each of his first 3 seasons and 65 career receptions show he can be more than just holding down the fort. He can keep the offense humming without stripping down the playbook. Shanahan signaled from the start that Robinson wouldn't be just a stopgap but a real part of the rotation. That now becomes invaluable. If McCaffrey needs limited snaps or even a day off, the offense won't short-circuit. There's someone ready to absorb the load. And that's the difference between being at the mercy of luck or controlling your own fate. Fans, of course, are already projecting scenarios. Some see Robinson as reliable mostly on the ground, lacking CMC's unpredictability as a receiver. Others see in him the chance to give the offense a physical rhythm, pounding a defense while McCaffrey saves energy for the decisive moments. In both cases, there's relief. Unlike 2024, this time there's a plan B. And the national media backs that read. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network reported the staff is just being cautious, which could indicate the absence is more strategic than worrisome. But until game day confirmation, no one breathes easy. Because if CMC is really limited, every Robinson carry suddenly carries the weight of an entire season. This balance between medical prudence and competitive aggression sets the tone for the start of 2025. The front office insulated the roster. Shanahan has a card up his sleeve, and the fan base is waiting to see whether the star will shine on the field or the new addition will be forced to prove his value right away. And while we wait, another spark in the rivalry is starting to catch fire. It's rivalry time and nothing gets the 49ers faithful going like a clash with Seattle. The fire reignites Sunday, but there's a twist. We won't see DK Metcalf on the other side. The wide receiver who so often battled our secondary now wears black and gold in Pittsburgh. That changes the narrative, but not the electricity. Damodar Lenoir, our newly extended captain and an increasingly influential voice in the locker room, didn't mince words. He'll miss the energy Metcalf brought on the very first snap, always going straight to contact. That one-on-one rivalry turned every game into a private war. Without him, the inevitable question is, who's the new antagonist? The answer might be Jackson Smith-Njigba. The young receiver is now the guy in Seattle's offense, and Lenoir tossed a few public jabs in the offseason, as if inviting a new high-level duel. History tells us there's no Niners-Seahawks feud without trash talk. Who can forget Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree in the 2014 NFC title game? That spark still burns in the collective memory. Now, with Lenoir in a leadership role and Smith-Njigba trying to prove he can carry Seattle's flag, we might be staring at a new chapter in that tradition. For the fan base, the expectation is clear. If there's no Metcalf, bring on the next one. The best news is Lenoir is healthy, recovered from the hip issue, and ready to command the secondary in a game that always tests physical and emotional limits. His confidence comes through in every word, reinforcing the tone of someone who doesn't fear changes on the other side. On the contrary, he sees them as an opportunity to reaffirm dominance. In the stands, nostalgia and anxiety mix. Many fans say they'll miss watching Metcalf get shut down. Others are already savoring the possibility of a new target for the banter. Either way, the essential ingredient is guaranteed. The rivalry stays alive, renewed, and with fresh blood. And it's in that very climate that the 2025 kickoff gains even more weight, promising collisions, provocations, and maybe the seed of a new corner versus receiver saga. Because if there's one thing you can bank on when San Francisco and Seattle meet, it's emotion until the final snap. And when the opening whistle blows, what's speculation today turns into pure reality. Then, my friend, it's every man for himself. Every route a battle, every snap a chapter in the story. 49ers family, after these 4 bombshells, you can feel the energy of a season that promises to be electric. A possible addition that could reshape the defense, the eternal drama around McCaffrey and his calf, the extra security with Robinson ready to take the wheel if needed, and the rivalry with Seattle rekindling with new characters. All of it creates a mix of tension, hope, and pure passion. Now I want to know which story hit you the hardest. Drop it in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick with us on this ride.